Two people stand on a street corner and witness the exact same car accident. Later, in a courtroom, under oath, they will describe two completely different sequences of events. And the unsettling part isn't that one of them is lying. It's that both of them are telling the absolute truth as they experienced it. Let's test this right now. I'm going to show you this dashcam frame for just 3 more seconds. Don't overthink it, just watch. Quick question. Did the red car in that image run a stop sign or a yield sign? Lock in your answer. If you chose a stop sign, you are in the majority. If you chose a yield sign, you are also in good company. But if we look again, there was no sign at all. Your brain just built one retroactively to make the story make sense. You didn't just misremember the image. You just manufactured a memory in less than 10 seconds. Today, we are looking at the gap where our minds quietly rewrite reality. The foundational myth of human experience is that our memory works like a 4K digital camera. We believe we record an event, store it on a hard drive, and simply press play when we want to retrieve it. But cognitive science has spent a century proving that the brain is not a recording device. It is an active construction machine. In 1932, a psychologist named Frederick Bartlett demonstrated that memory is not the storage of lifeless, fragmentary traces. Instead, it is an imaginative reconstruction. Memory isn't storage. It's authorship. And here's the unsettling part. If your brain is constantly rewriting the past, how many of your most vivid memories are things that never actually happened the way you think they did? Decades later, cognitive psychologist Elizabeth Loftus decided to test this. In her experiments, participants watched short clips of car accidents. Afterward, they were asked a simple question. How fast were the cars going when they smashed into each other? For others, the word was softer, contacted. Nothing else changed. Same video, same crash. Yet that one word rewrote the memory. People who heard smashed didn't just report higher speeds. They later remembered seeing broken glass on the road, even though no glass was ever shown in the clip. The implication is hard to ignore. The simple act of talking to another witness or hearing a leading question doesn't just influence memory, it edits it. And the most unsettling part, participants didn't hesitate. They didn't say maybe. They recalled these false details with absolute, unshakable confidence, as if they had truly seen them with their own eyes. Nothing about the event changed. Only a single word did, and the memory rewrote itself. Because there is a pattern underneath this. And once you see it, you find it everywhere. Consider 3 scenes. A married couple sits in a kitchen on a Sunday morning, recounting a party they went to the night before. Within 90 seconds, they are correcting each other. Who said what to whom, who left first, who was rude. 2 people, 1 party, 2 completely different evenings. A brother and sister, both in their 30s, are talking about a holiday from when they were children. He remembers their father as warm that week. She remembers him as cold and absent. They were in the same house. They ate the same meals. They are not describing the same man. A team finishes a meeting. Everyone leaves with a different account of who agreed to what. Within a day, the agreement has split into 3 versions, and each person can quote the room with confidence. You have lived inside at least one of these scenes. Probably all of them. The strangeness is not that people disagree. People disagree all the time. The strangeness is that each person is sincerely certain. Nobody is performing. Nobody is bluffing. The argument isn't about what happened. It's about which version gets to count. The ache of "that's not what happened" isn't the detection of a lie, it is the collision of 2 privately authored worlds. And here is why this matters. If you don't understand how your brain builds these worlds, you will spend your life losing trust in the people you love over a reality that never actually existed. To understand why this happens, we have to look at what the brain does under stress. During a high-stakes conflict, your brain is flooded with cortisol. This hormone selectively enhances emotionally charged, threatening details, while quietly erasing the neutral context around them. In that moment, your amygdala takes control, while connectivity to your prefrontal cortex drops. And that creates a hidden divergence. Each of you is no longer recording the same event. You encode the exact second you felt dismissed. They encode the exact second they felt attacked. From the very beginning, you're not even collecting the same reality. But that raises a sharper question. Why would the brain do this at all? Why replace reality with something less accurate? Because, from the brain's perspective, accuracy is not the priority. Efficiency is, survival is, coherence is. First, your brain doesn't store life like a video file. That would be impossibly expensive. Instead, it stores compressed patterns, what Bartlett called schemas. A schema is like a template. This is how people usually behave. When you remember something, you rebuild it using fragments plus these templates. And here's the catch. If something doesn't fit the template, your brain doesn't preserve it. It fixes it. Second, the brain is a prediction machine. Through predictive coding, it constantly asks, what is most likely to be true here? So when a memory has gaps, and it always does, the brain fills them with the most probable version. Which means every act of remembering is also an act of guessing. Not retrieving the past, but rebuilding something that feels like it. So far, this is about how memory works. But something else is shaping it. And third, and this is where it gets uncomfortable, your memory is designed to protect you, not the past. Through what psychologists call egocentric bias, the entire argument gets organized around you as the main character. You remember exactly what you meant. You remember why you said it. You remember how it felt from the inside. But when it comes to them, you don't remember, you infer. You fill in their intentions. You reconstruct their motives without ever having direct access to them. If a raw, accurate memory would create internal conflict, shame, guilt, threat to identity, the brain adjusts the narrative. When "I'm a good person" collides with "I just hurt someone," your brain faces a choice. Update your identity or update the memory. And your brain chooses the memory. Through cognitive dissonance, it reshapes events so they remain compatible with who you believe you are. Which means the question isn't just, is your memory accurate? It's accurate or useful. And if you think being highly intelligent or self-aware protects you from this, the reality is actually much darker. The legal scholar Dan O'Cahan studied a specific kind of bias he called identity protective cognition. He found that when people process information that threatens their identity, they distort it. But the surprising part is what happened with intelligence. The most analytic, most science-literate participants did not show less bias. They showed more. Greater cognitive ability did not correct the distortion. It supplied better tools to defend the conclusion that was already in place. Being smart is not a way out of this. Being smart is sometimes a faster route in. This is why the smartest, most self-aware people you know still get into the same fights, with the same partners, about the same memories. Self-awareness does not bypass the system. It runs on top of it. Perhaps the most unsettling evidence of this didn't come from a thought experiment. It came from watching two people's brains align in real time. In a 2025 study published in the Quarterly Journal of Experimental Psychology, researchers observed romantic couples recalling the same shared event. As couples remembered together, their activity began to synchronize in the lateral prefrontal cortex. Not metaphorically, literally. When one partner emphasized a specific detail, the other partner's brain didn't just agree. It actively suppressed competing memories. Details that didn't fit the shared version started to disappear. This phenomenon is known as socially shared retrieval-induced forgetting. And here's the part that should make you pause. This doesn't happen between strangers. It only happens between people who are close. Which leads to a paradox most people never consider. The closer you are to someone, the less independent your memory becomes. Intimacy doesn't just mean shared experiences. It means shared editing. Over time, you're not just remembering your past together, you're negotiating it, shaping it, aligning it. Until eventually, the question is no longer, what actually happened? But something far more unsettling. Which version of our past did we agree to keep, and which one did we quietly erase? Psychologists Carol Itavridis and Elliot Aronson noted that self-justification is far more powerful and far more dangerous than an explicit lie. The person who lies knows they are lying. But the person whose memory has been edited by their own mind is utterly convinced of their accuracy. What presents as a bitter conflict over who said what is actually a collision between two biological defense mechanisms. Two brains doing exactly what they were designed to do, constructing a narrative where the self is safe, coherent, and justified. The convergent finding across a century of cognitive science is unambiguous. The concept of an objective memory in human interpersonal experience is something we assume exists, but doesn't quite. There is no neutral recording. There is only the version of the story that lets us continue being ourselves. The couple sitting in the aftermath of an argument is not experiencing a simple communication failure. They are inhabiting two separate versions of the same moment. And this leaves us with a quiet, difficult realization. The shared world is not something we can passively observe together. It is a fragile, artificial bridge built between two isolated minds. And yet, this doesn't make memory useless. It makes it human. The relationships that survive are not the ones that successfully establish a single, authoritative version of the past. They are the ones that can tolerate the existence of two completely contradictory realities occupying the exact same room, and still choose to build something in the space between them. I want to leave you with a question. What is a memory you are entirely certain of, that someone else remembers completely differently? Tell me about it down in the comments. I'll be reading them. Until next time, stay curious.